What's up, Nova Heads? It's Amber Nova.
This is Chris Lights Out Lytle.
Hi, this is Ray Boom Boom Mancini.
Ice Boogie.
It's the real and raw August Art Swap.
This is Smiling Sam Alvey.
It's Archimedes.
I'm Jack Cartwheel, the real deal, the human highlight reel.
This is Steve Mowry.
I'm Victor Henry.
Floyd Bulletproof Trooper.
It's ECW Original, The Enforcer, C.W. Anderson.
This is Honest John.
Hyper Street. I'm Luis Moreno. And
It's Mr. Classic.
and Savino Way.
I'm Jason Punet.
The young ghost.
It's old Hattie Price here.
When I say what's my name, tonight.
Richie Slade. My name is Gino Rivera, the Frank Sinatra of the Spanish Mafia.
The incredible one, Anthony Idol.
This is Ken Shamrock.
The Golden Boy, Jordan Clearwater.
Yo, watch and listen.
Championship Online.
This is Alex Mars here. Hi, Richard Modest.
So, please listen to it, otherwise be cursed. Okay, see you later. Love that, Dennis.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You are now watching and listening to Championship on the Line podcast. If you're new to the channel, my name is Alex, and today is a very, very special episode here today because not only we have a pro wrestler in the house, we also have a referee in the house, and you may have seen her in so many promotions. This is Unified Wrestling Oklahoma, Core Pro Wrestling, and also Rocky Mount Pro Wrestling. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the one and only Luna Nightshade.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, no, I'm very, very excited. You're on the podcast. Very, very happy. And, we have so much to talk about. But before we get to these topics, I'd like to do a quick segment we do for every guest is where we ask 10 fun questions. Is that cool? We do it for you?
Sounds good to me. Let's see what you have.
All right. Awesome. First fun question. What is your favorite movie of all time?
My favorite movie of all time is The Outsiders.
Ooh, nice.
It is a classic, just a very classic, good movie.
Oh, yeah. Especially the book, too, is also great.
And so obviously in middle school, we had to read the book and watch the movie. And since then, I fell in love with it. And it's still one of the top movies ever.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, same with me too. In middle school, they put that movie on, or first you read the book and then you had to watch the movie. But yeah, I mean, especially the cast. I mean, you had an all-star cast. You had Patrick Swayze, just a lot of Robin Macchio. I think it was Robin Macchio was on it. It was an awesome cast.
There were just so many people that were on it when they're in the peak of their fame or right before their peak. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Definitely, it's definitely a great movie. Awesome choice. So the second fun question: what is your favorite TV show of all time?
My favorite TV show of all time. Oof, that one's hard because it definitely fluctuates. I would say right now is iZombie.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I'm very much a sitcom kind of person, and that one is a sitcom with zombies, so that's cool.
Okay, awesome. Is it a sci-fi show or is it a?
I watch it on Netflix, so I don't really know what it's on.
Oh, okay.
I don't have cable TV.
Oh, okay. I just thought it's a sci-fi, right? A sci-fi show?
Yeah, it's definitely a sci-fi type show.
Oh, okay.
About a zombie apocalypse.
Nice. Definitely have to check that out. Awesome. But the next fun question, do you have a favorite band or a music artist you like to listen to?
I don't have a favorite per se. I very much like one or two songs from a lot of people, and I really like those songs, but I've never once listened to an entire album of anything. So I don't think I have a favorite per se.
Okay. All right. Cool. And with the next question, what is your favorite meal you like to eat?
Hot wings.
Ooh.
All the way.
Nice.
Like, if I could, I would probably have hot wings every single day. Different flavored sauces, obviously, but that's really the only food that I consistently like. It's hard to mess up a hot wing too.
Mm-hmm. And what are we doing? Are we doing bone-in or boneless?
Boneless if I'm in public, but bone in at home because bone in tastes better. But I'm a messy eater, so I don't like to embarrass myself in public.
Oh, okay. Yeah, same. Yeah, I like bone-in, but boneless is good too. You can beat a bone-in. I think it's just much better. I know. Do you eat like what's your go-to flavor? Are you mild or spicy?
I'm definitely on the spicier end. I like a hot buffalo or like a Nashville hot.
Okay.
Or even like a spicy barbecue is ideal.
Ooh. And what's your go-to spot?
Probably Buffalo Wild Wings.
Okay. Nice.
That one seems pretty cliche, but honestly, where I'm from, there's not a ton of like great local type like wing places.
Okay.
It's not like out of the way.
Okay, yeah, but you can't beat Buffalo Wild Wings. Definitely great. But I love it. Awesome. With the next question, do you have a favorite sports team?
Probably Oklahoma City Thunder.
Okay.
At least I used to. I started watching basketball when we had like our OG team, like Westbrook, Durant, like Steven Adams. Like, obviously, with our like new young team, I haven't fallen in love with them quite yet, but like it's a work in progress.
Yeah.
We'll see where it goes.
It's complicated. Awesome. I love it. With the next one, I don't know if you're a gamer or not, but if you are, even for a video game.
So, favorite video game, hands down, is Spyro.
Okay.
Can't beat it on the PlayStation. It's top tier on the Switch. But if we're talking like PC game, Minecraft Sky Factory.
Ooh.
I've played
nice.
probably like 100 hours of that.
It's a very addicting game, for sure. Awesome. With the next one, do you have a favorite book?
Probably the Harry Potter series.
Okay. Nice.
I don't think I can choose like a favorite within that. Like probably Prisoner of Azkaban.
Okay.
If I was to choose like a very specific favorite book.
Okay. Nice. I like it. And then with the next question, outside of wrestling, do you have a hobby you like to do?
Outside of wrestling, I like to paint. I collect games. I do a lot of like tabletop games. Collect action figures, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Obviously, I can see you have quite a few in your background as well. I'm in my office right now, so I only have my like exclusive iZombie figures on the back. While my like Star Wars figures and stuff are in the rest of the house.
Nice. Do you collect all different types of figures, or like is it specific?
I collect Star Wars figures of the Black Series. I have a decent amount of Marvel Legends. Obviously, I have wrestling figures. And then I also collect the Transformers. I'm suddenly blanking on the name of them. The like large scale Transformers figures.
Okay, nice. I love it. Yeah, I mean figures right now, especially it's on the rise right now. I mean everyone's like a collector now, which is awesome.
That's true.
Yeah.
Toys have definitely become like for adults now than they have like for children.
Oh yeah, and especially the prices too has gone up. Figures like now everything's every collector, people are collecting, and it's like so hard to find now, which is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But,
I said my
yeah, look at
husband
my
and
collection.
I. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say my husband and I have this like rule where we don't order figures online. Like we have to buy them from like local places or individually owned shops. So that makes it even rougher to find like out in the wild of the exact figure we're looking for.
Or Walmart. I think it's much better when you go to the store and you have it and it's yours, you know.
It just has that nostalgia feeling. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, awesome. Moving on to the next question. Before your match, before you get in the ring, Luna, do you have like a ritual you like to do before you get in there?
Not necessarily. As soon as I get to like the venue, after I say hi to everyone, I always go check the like ropes and the boards and stuff, just from habit of being a referee, wanting to make sure it's safe before I get in. So not necessarily like a ritual or anything like right behind the curtain, but just a habit of like checking to see like, hey, this ring is like the ropes are loose or like the ropes are super tight. So this is what I need to know before like going in.
Okay. Nice. Just checking out everything before you get in there, right?
Sometimes I'll like walk it out too, because I've worked in a lot of rings that are different sizes, anywhere from like an 8 foot by 8 foot to like a 20 foot by 20 foot ring. So I also like to like walk it to kind of see like spacing, stuff like that.
Okay. Nice. I love it. If you could have a match, so it could be someone from a movie, someone from a video game, a celebrity, who would it be?
I think that's a very good question. So if we're thinking like it can be literally anyone, not being like, the way I take the question is not like a wrestler, obviously. Yeah. I would want to wrestle Shrek. Because in the first Shrek movie, there's that scene of him and Donkey like literally wrestling.
Ooh.
And I think that would be like top tier like person I would want to wrestle.
Nice. And what kind of match would it be? It'd just be a regular singles match or any stipulation?
I would say just a regular singles match.
Oh, okay. Nice. And who's going over?
I'd probably put Shrek over.
Okay. Nice. But that's cool. That would be fun. Awesome. Well, again, Luna, thank you so much for being on the podcast. Very happy and excited you're here. But before we start, I want to kind of get like the beginning of your wrestling journey to pro wrestling. Like, was it a friend or a relative? Like, how did you?
I wasn't really like a huge wrestling fan like as a kid or anything. So when COVID happened, we were locked down at home, and my husband and I started watching wrestling together. And I very cockily was like, I could do that. Like, that doesn't look super hard. That was back in like 2020. At the beginning of 2021, I quit the job that I was working that I really hated and went back to school. And while I was finishing up the last couple of months of my bachelor's degree, I started looking into like local wrestling schools and promotions, and found one and joined it. And after I had already like spoken to a couple of promoters and like the heads of different schools, I woke my husband up and was like, hey, just so you know, I have a tryout to be a pro wrestler. Hope that's okay. And he was like, well, I guess so. So I started training to wrestle, and less than 6 months later, I started reffing because I didn't know anything about this business. So I thought reffing would be the perfect way to start like meeting people and just kind of learning how everything works, because again, I wasn't a huge wrestling fan. So there was a lot of times I was in a ring that I had to like quickly Google like, what are the rules to this match, because I didn't know, or something along those lines. This weekend, actually, yesterday was my first year anniversary of wrestling.
Was there any wrestlers that kind of stood you out? Was like your favorite watching it?
Probably either Becky Lynch or Britt Baker.
Ooh, nice. And going to wrestling school, kind of training to become a ref, what was that first experience like? Kind of going there, filling the ring, kind of knowing the business, getting to meet everyone. What was like that first date like for you?
The very first day I ever went to wrestling training, I'd always like started as just training as a wrestler, and then reffing I just kind of fell into later. So my first day of wrestling training, I get there, everyone's super nice, and I basically just run my butt off. We would do so many like different like running drills, stuff like that. And our head trainer at the time was like, okay, Robin, I want you to get comfortable. Like, I want you to come sit in the middle of the ring. So I was like, yes, sir. I sit down, and then he had everyone put me in like a chokehold. And then I was like, okay, this is what this is. Got it. And then he was like, all right, come here, give me your hand. And then it made me walk the top rope all the way around. And then I took my first couple of bumps, and I think training started at like 6 p.m. We finished up at like 2 a.m. And I called my husband and was like, hey, like, this is going to be my new thing. Like, I joined the class, like, tryout went well, like, first class went well. This is what I'm doing now.
Mm-hmm. And watching it, like, for the first time, like, what made you fall in love with it? Was like the athleticism, storylines, like, what made you, like, want to do this and become a wrestler?
Storylines are definitely fun when I'm watching wrestling. That's what I am there for. Doing it myself, it was definitely like the athleticism and the physicality. I grew up with a lot of sisters, so we were always like just fist fighting constantly. So then like having an outlet like that as an adult where I wasn't like legit hurting people or like, I don't know, messing up my life for like fighting a stranger, like this is definitely like an outlet for that rage that we all just kind of have buried under the surface.
Mm-hmm. And while training too, like you're doing both, like you were trained to be a ref and a pro wrestler, or was it like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I had always intended to be a wrestler. So whenever I started wrestling training immediately. And then after I'd been training for a couple of months to be a wrestler, also started ref training.
Okay. And then when you made your debut, did you first start to be a ref and then a wrestler? Or
yes,
like,
I refed for about 6 months before I ever started wrestling. And I still ref like now. That's why I wear the mask, so that I can like still do both.
Nice. And how much did like being a ref, like how much did that help you kind of like getting comfortable in the ring? How much did that help you being a ref to like, being a wrestler? Like how much did that help with the confidence and, wrestling out there?
The experience that I had while reffing and the confidence building that it did is invaluable. Like I'll never look down on a ref, or like I personally recommend anyone who wants to start wrestling to start as a ref. Like you understand the rules to every match, your positioning, your steps. Like it's so much easier to learn those things if you are sitting in the best seat in the house watching it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're getting to ref like really good matches, you get to learn more being in the ring with them than you would like sitting in the front row.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, especially like being a ref, like being a ref and also being a wrestler, you're learning both sides, you know, being in the ring, being a ref, and being a wrestler. So it was very smart, kind of like knowing everything about it, you know. And going to wrestling school, like, you know, what was it like? You know, was there any like footage you would watch on certain wrestlers to kind of get like inspiration for like your ring style? Was there any like footage you would watch?
Oh, absolutely. Once I started wrestling training, I started having to watch wrestling all the time and not just like the new fun stuff that like everyone likes right now. Like, obviously I watch like Dynamite and Raw like every week, but then going back and having to watch like all of the original WrestleManias, like watching like the history of learning what the history of where we came from and like what we're doing now and the meaning behind every move that we do or every story that we tell.
Mm-hmm. And also too, you know, going to school, like was every like did you ever go over like promos with you? Like what was it like doing like promos for the first time? Was it something that you caught on quick, or was it something that took time to develop with your promos?
I am still terrible at promos, honestly. Like, not a public speaker at all. So I'm still working. That's still a skill that I need to improve on and learn how to do well.
Mm-hmm. And
the first time I did it. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
The first time I ever did it, like, all I did was we all had to cut promos on our head trainer, and the only thing I could come up with was like one lame joke to like talk about, and that was it. Like, I had nothing else planned for the promo, and I had no idea what I was doing. So I just made a joke about how like his gimmick is that he's like an MMA type guy. So like the only joke I could come up with was that he couldn't afford shoes to wrestle in. Even though he does that intentionally, obviously.
Yeah. Nice. I love it. Oh, that's funny. But yeah, like take me back. What was it like reffing your first match? Like getting out there in the ring, like what was it like going out to the ring for the first time?
It was terrifying. I honestly hate watching the footage of those first couple of matches because I was out of place. I was really awkward. I did this awkward thing with my hands because I didn't know what to do. I didn't really even know that I was like reffing that day. It was just like I got to the show. Normally we help out, like bring stuff, like gimmicks to the back, that kind of thing. And they were like, hey, like you've got your license, like hop out there and like you've got these 2 matches. So I had a singles match. And then following that, I had a tag team match that night. And it was just trying to stay out of the way and not get ran over.
And I need to ask, you know, like, which I love the name, Luna Nightshade. Where did you come up with the name?
I chose my name the night before I debuted as a wrestler.
Oh.
I did not have a name yet. We'd been like pitching different things, and I had swapped schools like when I started. So I was working with different trainers, and they were like, "Yeah, like you really need to choose a name so we can get you out there tomorrow." And so me and one of the trainers of this new school were like talking about it, and he was like, so like, what are you kind of leaning towards, like character? And obviously I wear like a cat mask. So I was like, just kind of working with that. So then I kind of took from like books that I really liked as kids and even now. So I took Luna from Luna Lovejoy and Harry Potter. And then I took the last name Nightshade from a different book series that I read as a kid and still really enjoy, which is the Percy Jackson series.
Oh, Nice.
from Rick Ryden.
That's awesome. And then like wearing the mask, which is very very different. What was the inspiration behind wearing the mask? Was that something like, oh, when I make my debut, I'm gonna wear a mask? Was it something you kind of decided like later?
It was kind of a snap decision, honestly. Didn't intend to be a masked wrestler. I considered doing like a secondary gimmick where I was like masked just to get extra reps. But about the time that I was going to debut as a wrestler, I received an email from a large company asking me to come try out as a ref. So I didn't want to like blow up that like whole deal. So I started wrestling under the mask so that I could do like still push me being a ref and get that tryout done.
Mm-hmm. And during your time of training, training for coaches, what's been like the best advice you have received from them about the business?
The best advice in wrestling I've ever received is be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many situations that you're going to walk into in this business where you feel really uncomfortable, whether it's public speaking or trying something new. So just get used to knowing that new experiences are constantly going to be coming at you. Like I just recently was in a women's cage match.
Mm-hmm.
The first women's cage match in Oklahoma. So that was a really big deal. And I got to do the spot where I jump off the cage onto everyone.
Mm-hmm.
You can find the video on Facebook, Instagram, that kind of thing. But not a lot of people know this. I'm terrified of heights.
Yeah.
And I literally like cried whenever they told me it was going to be me doing that because I was so scared. And I wouldn't even like...
You hit it very well because I would have thought that because that looked really high in the video.
Thank you. My grandparents have been like blowing up about it, but I was so uncomfortable like with the idea of it being me. But just kind of remembering like, just get used to being those uncomfortable feelings like that because it's gonna happen. So then like once the match actually happened and the adrenaline was going, I was like, no, I got this. Like, it's okay. Like, and hype myself up as I was like climbing up there.
When they told you you were gonna have to do that, were you like, oh no, I'm not doing it? Or you're like, okay, I guess.
I kind of like looked around and was like, I knew it. I just knew it was gonna be me. It was just that like acceptance of like I just knew this was gonna happen, like that inevitability. So then I was just like, all right, like we can try it, I guess. So we planned like a whole secondary spot just in case I got up there and got too scared to come down. Like I was just gonna stay up there until the match was over, basically.
But you handled very well. It was very awesome to watch. Especially, I mean, think about it, so much pressure because it's the first cage match ever in Oklahoma. So
first women's cage match. Like there's definitely been cage matches here, but like women are never like given that opportunity. And one of the promotions I work for, Core, has a female promoter, so we get a lot of like fun opportunities there. And that was one of them, was getting to be in that cage match. And then secondary to that was me jumping off of it, which is still insane that I did.
Oh yeah, it's an awesome. I saw the clip. It's an awesome clip, awesome highlight. So definitely getting the chance to do that is really awesome. So it was amazing to watch. But take me back. What was it like? Debuting for the first time, getting in the ring for the first time as Luna Nightshade. Like, what was that whole experience like for you to come out to the curtains to the fans for the first time?
It was pretty terrifying. The girl I was working is like very experienced and very good, so I knew that was gonna be okay. But a lot of my family came to that first show, so I was just very nervous that I was gonna go out there and just like make a complete fool out of myself. And it's like one thing to come out in front of strangers and mess up, but coming out in front of your family where you see them all filming you and just know they're not going to let you like live this down was very nerve-wracking.
And speaking like about family and friends, like what was their reaction when you first told them like you were going to be a wrestler and you were going to go to school and you were going to pursue this? Like what was their reaction?
Very positive, very supporting. Obviously, my grandma was very worried about like me getting hurt, that kind of thing. But she's also been my number one supporter. Like my grandma made my first couple of sets of gear. Like she's done more than I could ever ask of like support. And a lot of the other reactions I've gotten from like my friends and family were just like, are you sure? Like you don't speak to anyone or really like being in public at all. So it's weird that you're wanting to do this.
Oh yeah. I mean, I would think, especially like when you tell someone you're gonna be arrested, their reaction is probably like, "Wait, what? Like when this ever happen?" But yeah, it's very cool. Especially with your career where you've gone. I mean, I want to talk about you've also wrestled for Rocky Mountain Pro Wrestling. We had a lot of matches. I want to take me back. Like, what was it like wrestling for them, and how did I get started going over the Rocky Mountain?
It was a very good experience to go wrestle at Rocky Mountain Pro. I was only there for one weekend. It happened to be a pay-per-view weekend. I was there Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Me and a group of guys from Kansas all went up there together. They've been regulars there. This was my first time going. We were there for 3 days. I wrestled probably 6-7 matches, and then I ref probably 15 matches.
Oh wow.
So at the time I barely had time to like breathe and think about like what the next match was. Like I was constantly like running to the back and asking one of the guys to like hold up a sheet or something so I could quickly change like right behind the curtain so I could run back out and get to the next match. So Rocky Mountain does a lot of like TV style matches and work. So it was a very good experience, like learning more about how to work a camera and focusing on like a TV or YouTube type audience.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've watched their stuff and it's very good production. A lot of good, the videos are very, very good production, especially like with one of your matches too. Like you wrestled Christy, JC.
Yes.
What was it like working with her and having a match for her?
I was very scared of that match, honestly. Like JC is very sweet, but also she's very tough. Like, so the match went super well. She protected me. I was super safe. But also there was a couple of kicks to the back that I was like, oof, okay. Because like there's definitely like different levels of how people lay it in. And JC is very good about laying it in and making it look good. So I was very appreciative for that experience to be able to work with her and learn from her.
That was because you worked with a lot of different people. Because I think you worked with Skylar Slice, I believe.
Yes.
And I was to say, how was it like working with her?
I would say almost half of my matches have been with Skylar Slice. Like,
those are a lot of them.
I said we wrestled in Oklahoma, we wrestled in Texas, Minnesota, Denver. We just kind of travel everywhere, and half the time, like, we're one of the only girls there. So they're like, all right, you two together.
Does it make it easier? Does it make it more easy kind of working with someone at the same time? Kind of like, different places and working with them? Like, does it make it more easy, more fun? Because you already know what to expect from your opponent?
It definitely makes it easier, and to work with the same person a lot, you get that like experience and you just kind of like get the flow of each other. But then it's also that same thing as if you like lay something in a little too hard at this last match, you're like, all right, she's gonna chop back this match, like, because we know we're working each other the next night too, like. But Skylar's really great to work with. She's very professional, very talented. So I'm very thankful that she's there to allow me to work with her and then to base for me. I do a lot of like silly moves that only really work if you have a strong person underneath you for.
Mm-hmm. And what's it like, especially when you look back in your career, what's been like the best or like the funnest moment in your career so far?
It's a very good question. I don't know, honestly. Like, I've had so many great experiences. It's honestly a lot of my favorite like wrestling memories are not wrestling specific. It's those like travel stories, like getting to spend like a day in an arcade because we had an extra day while we were in Chicago, like, or like traveling like with a group of guys to Denver at Rocky Mountain. Those like I get to try like new food that I've never like had before, stuff like that. Like those are the memories I really appreciate and will remember more than what happened in the ring or like who won and lost, those kinds of things.
Mm-hmm. And speaking about traveling, what's been your favorite city to travel?
I think Chicago. Chicago was really nice. I had a lot of great experiences there. I tried deep dish pizza for the very first time ever.
Nice.
Minnesota was also fun. I'd never been that far north before. So I'd never seen like the frozen lakes of like people actually out there fishing on it. I wasn't expecting that to be a real thing. I thought that was only in movies. So when we're like driving by what the map shows to be lakes and there's just like trucks driving over this like frozen lake, I was very worried and confused as to what was happening.
Mm-hmm. And what's on the list for you? What is the places you like to travel, places like to wrestle in the future?
Obviously I want to wrestle overseas. Hopefully I will get to go to the UK in a couple of months and to the Philippines next year. Obviously Japan and Mexico are on the list of places I would like to go. I think Canada as well. I think Canada would be very fun. It's also close enough and like similar enough to here that I think it's a good like starter country to go to. Because everything's different, but not that different.
Yeah.
As far as in the U.S., I'm getting to go to Atlanta in a couple of months, or in March, actually. So in a couple of weeks, I guess. So I'm really excited about that. I'm also in April getting to go to San Antonio, and I haven't been down there in quite a few years, so I'm excited about that. I'm planning to drive to San Antonio just so that I can go to a restaurant I saw on TikTok in Waco. There's like a macaroni and cheese place that constantly pops up on my For You page. So I'm going to drive multiple hours instead of getting a flight so that I can go there.
Nice. Hopefully it's worth it.
So all of my wrestling choices or like places I want to be are all food based.
Nice. And especially with now especially like every promotion especially women's wrestling is in the top, it's in the best that it's ever been in my opinion. But what would be the end goal for you? What promotion would you like to sign with? Either it's Impact, AEW, WWE, like what's the goal for you to sign with?
Ideally the goal is AEW. If not, I definitely enjoy working on the indies. So if I could travel enough to financially support myself on the indies, I would love that as well.
Okay.
And not have like the 9 to 5 on top of traveling every single weekend.
Nice. And especially, for opponents, like what's the list for opponents? Like who would you like to face in the ring in the future?
I don't have a list. Like, I think that I don't know. I definitely understand wrestlers who all have like their like go-to list of who they would really like to wrestle. I don't have one. Like, I'd be very thankful for whatever opportunity came to me and have come to me so far. But I think like creating that list just either sets you up for failure because like some people are just impossible, or that list kind of limits you because there's so many people out there you don't know, whether it's like overseas or just unknown talent that are just as good as people on TV, if that makes sense.
But yeah, I mean, like you said, mentioning AEW, you know, what's been your thoughts on them and what they've been doing in the wrestling world with AEW?
I honestly truly believe that AEW brought back a resurgence to indie wrestlers. I think that AEW has done a lot of great things, along with, obviously, it's a new promotion. So like there has been like consistent storytelling type issues. There are people that I would like to see more of that we haven't got to see enough of. But I really do think they've done a really good job of bringing awareness to like the indie wrestling scene and just bringing back the love of pro wrestling for a lot of people. Seeing something new, seeing that it doesn't have to be a monopoly owned by WWE.
Absolutely, especially what they're doing with their independent talent, giving them chances like on Dark Elevation, AEW Dark. It's been really cool seeing that, and I'm crossing my fingers. Hopefully, you'll be able to get your opportunity to wrestle for Dark, hopefully soon. But you know, especially you know, someone that's watching this and wants to become a professional wrestler, what advice would you give to someone that wants to be in this business?
I recommend looking up local wrestling promotions in your area. Typically, you can do that on like any kind of social media platform, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Look for local promotions in your area and go to some of their shows. Especially wrestlers at that scene or at that level are very friendly and they want to share their passion with you. So if you're wanting to be a part of this, go to a couple of those shows and I guarantee you will find a promoter or a wrestler who come up to you, shake your hand and ask you like if you've been here before, or if just talk to them and like ask them questions and tell them you want to be a part of this. And I'm sure they can like send you somewhere to start your training.
Awesome. That's great advice. And again, we'll finish off my last question. Someone that's watching this and they haven't had the opportunity to see you wrestle live, what can the fans expect to see Luna Nightshade in action?
You can expect different versions of me. Sometimes I'm serious, sometimes I'm not. I am basically like your house cat. I can be very friendly and do silly stuff. Like the other night, I lost a match because I got distracted by a piñata that was near the ring. Or I can use my claws and jump across the ring to attack someone.
Nice. I love it. And again, Luna, thank you so much for being on the podcast. I'm very happy that you've been on. And before I wrap up, is there anything you'd like to plug in? Anything on social media? Any bookings you have coming up?
You can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, or I guess not YouTube. I've been really bad with that one, but Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Luna Nightshade or Luna_wrestling. This Friday, I will be at Core Professional Wrestling in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Following that, March 4th, I will be in Atlanta, Georgia with On Tap Wrestling. And March 11th, I will be in Brainerd, Minnesota with On Tap Wrestling. So if you haven't heard of On Tap Wrestling, I highly recommend you follow them online at Global Fight Pass, because I've been working with them a lot recently, and they're a very good company that I highly recommend you checking out.
Awesome. And ladies and gentlemen, everything you just said, we'll put it down description down below where you can follow her on all social medias. Do yourself a favor and go follow her on Instagram, Twitter. All will be down description down below. Ladies and gentlemen, Luna, thank you so much for being on. Had so much fun. And again, thank you so much. And thank you to all the fans who've been watching this. This is going to do it us for here at Championship Online Podcast. We will see you guys next time here.